Hi again. Hope you enjoyed that fun panel session. We're going to now look at live stories. Real time is very much in our DNA, and scaling stories, trending, has driven the evolution of the platform. One company we work with since day one in the UK is Sky. They had the first ever promoted tweet with Glee, and they've run a host of innovative campaigns since then. My favourite being the hashtag #WatchOnSky stuff, where users could watch or record directly from tweet. But our partnership with them goes far beyond a commercial one, and we're thrilled to have Isabel Webster, Sky News Sunrise anchor, to give us her unique perspective on Twitter's role in the news cycle.
I like that music. That was a nice intro. It's better than what I get at Sky News in the morning, that's for sure. Good evening, everyone. As you were just told, my name is Isabel Webster, and I present on Sky News every morning from 6 till 9 in the morning. You might recognise the chap that I present with a little better than me. So Eamon Holmes is my wingman, or I'm his wingwoman, to be brutally honest. He is, in fact, the longest-serving breakfast television presenter in this country. He obviously used to do GMTV back in the day, but we now have him on Sky, and we have him for the next 5 years. We're very lucky to have him with us. This is my Twitter page. Now, I just wanted to give you a little idea of what it looks like. Twitter is a massively integral part of what I do on my programme every single day. From the moment I go on air, it's really busy right up until then. The moment I go on air, whenever Eamon's doing a link and it's my turn to have a pause, I will be tweeting throughout the programme. And we go through every possible extreme, from breaking news to any tactic we can use, basically, to try and gather more viewers. In terms of my followers, I was a correspondent for 7 years before I became a presenter. So the people that follow me probably have met me along the way, have followed me because they've seen me on breakfast television. A lot of my peers follow me, so a lot of journalists, a really diverse bunch of people. If we look at Eamon's Twitter page, he's got well in excess of 700,000 followers. And his followers are completely different from mine. He's obviously a massive Man United fan, which means that a lot of people that follow him don't follow me. And he's also a big hit with Housewives. So what we do is, if I tweet something, he'll retweet it. And if he tweets something, I'll retweet it. And we get a good bit of cross-pollination. And we make no bones about the fact that what we're trying to do through that process is translate Twitter followers into viewers to our programme. So what do I do? What do I use Twitter for? And I have to say, just before I talk a little bit more about how I use it, the programme that I present with Eamon in the morning is very different from everything else that you'll see on Sky. Sky News is a rolling breaking news channel. It's very hard news. At the moment, it's dominated by pretty much 2 stories only: this tragic plane crash and the election, 43 days to go. Sunrise, we get a little bit of leeway. People are waking up. We try and have a little bit of fun with the programme. It is different, and that is why, probably more than any other programme on Sky, we use Twitter more. And we interact more with our viewers. So this is just an example of a tweet, just a generic tweet that I put out during the programme last week. Should pharmacists be called in to help ease the pressure inside GP surgeries? And it would just encourage people to get involved, and we would basically have real-time interaction during a live news programme from our viewers. And I will read out what people have tweeted, assuming that it's broadcastable quite often, and that is a drawback. It isn't broadcastable, and I have walked down the avenue of beginning to read a tweet and then realising I can't finish it. But it's a great way to not only engage people in the programme, it's also a great way to gauge whether or not the programme is boring people. There are certain subjects that we have to cover because we're a news channel. We will try and engage people as much as we can. If people aren't responding to a talking point tweet that I've put out, I know that we need to do something different. We need to make it more engaging. We need to re-nose our report. And it can, particularly on Sunrise, maybe not in other programmes on Sky News, influence our editorial content. So we might decide to drop something because we've got the impression from Twitter and other social media that it is boring people. Or conversely, that we're getting really good reaction, I should say, and we'll do more of that if we're getting good reaction to it. This is something that Eamon tweeted, actually very timely given the news today about Mr. Clarkson. This was the Monday morning after we all heard that the programme had been cancelled or postponed, whatever it was, for 3 weeks in a row. Eamon decided to try and do a sort of live on-air poll that we could monitor throughout the 3-hour show that we do. So PM says, because this was a comment from David Cameron, his children would be devastated if Jeremy Clarkson got the biff. What do you think? So he asked his followers to retweet if they thought Clarkson should stay. He needed a little play on Clark's on, or favourite for Clark's off. And I don't know what time I took a screen grab of that tweet, but he'd already had 525 people saying that they thought he should stay and 755 people saying he should go. So we're not talking about masses of numbers of people, but it's just nice because we knew that, well over 1,000 people had got involved in that and were listening to what we were saying. And for every person that is engaged with us, interacted with us on Twitter, we like to think that there are probably at least 10 more people thinking about getting involved or, can't access their phone for whatever reason, but would like to be and are engaged and enjoying the programme. The obvious use from a news point of view is breaking news. I mean, people follow me and Eamon because they want a little snippet of the news. Quite often people watch us in the morning, then they're running out the door and they don't know what else is happening. They can rely on us to always bring them the breaking news of the day. This was a story that happened last week, 2 police officers, ongoing problems in Missouri, in Ferguson. And real-time on-air, we can do that. Now, we will often break things on Twitter before they get broken on television. There's a good reason for that. We might be in the middle of an advert break and then the Queen dies. In fact, that's a bad example. If the Queen dies, we'd come out of the advert break. Advertising is important, but it's not that important. So we'll give you a better example. For example, this plane crash that we saw yesterday. We could have been in the middle of a report that we've just started. It's just bad television to automatically cut out something. So we will break things on Twitter invariably first. And people know that. People follow us for that specific reason. The immediacy of Twitter, of course, as well, and the international nature of it is great from a news perspective. People don't have to be watching a television to understand and see what we're doing on Sunrise and talking about what we're doing on Sunrise. They can be on the train with their phone. It's in their hands. They can be abroad. They can be anywhere. I've had people tweeting me from a tent in Zambia saying that they'd seen what we were up to on Twitter. It has no boundaries. Oh, and it's fantastic for us to spy on our competitors. Sky News, its sort of slogan is first for breaking news, and we always are. We sometimes also say never wrong for long because we can be a little bit gung-ho. However, it means if we've missed something, we can see what our competitors are doing, because everything's out there. People used to be much more secretive about their exclusives, and there was a bulletin at 6 o'clock in the evening. We didn't know what the other team was doing. Now everything's on Twitter, often, as I say, before it's on the television. Great way to see what they're up to, great way to give us a heads up if we're actually on the back foot. So an example of how tweets and Twitter and social media drives traffic to our website. This was from our Sky News breaking Twitter handle, where they just promoted last week the breaking news. Actually, this was over the weekend, that tomorrow we are hosting the first TV battle, the first and only TV battle between Mr. Cameron and Mr. Miliband. Now, this will have generated, we hope, a great deal of attention and traffic to our website. About I'll check my notes so I get this right, 5 to 10% of our total online traffic comes from Twitter. If you include other social media, I think it can be up to as much as 30%. So it's really important to us, the use of social media, in getting people not only to our television programmes, but our other products, because increasingly, as you know, news is a multi-platform game these days. It's a fantastic source for stories. This was probably, unless you're a news hound, you may not remember, last November there were supersonic rumblings that people were noticing, and I think it was in the Midlands, commenting on Twitter about it. Someone sharp-eyed in the newsroom spotted it. The next thing, we had scrambled our crew to have a look at it, as had the RAF. They'd scrambled jets. And it was a Latvian plane that had encroached into British airspace. And we were the first ones to that story because of Twitter. And this was actually a picture that I took from a newspaper article about it the next day. And the photographs that the newspaper were running were of Sky News with all of our branding. And that was, once again, giving us good promotion, which we had gained through Twitter. To quote, just because it's in the front of my mind and it's what I've been talking about for most of the day, the plane tragedy that happened yesterday. Again, we use Twitter as a source. We're looking for whether Germanwings have tweeted. They hadn't commented for quite a while about whether or not they could confirm it had happened. We're looking to see if any relatives are on there wanting to know information, and we're using it to try and tell the story in real time, keep an eye on things. So it's an incredibly important source for us as well. 43 days until the election, and you're all going to get so sick of these guys. But we're launching something really exciting on Monday with not just Twitter, other social media, but Twitter is really integral to it. It's going to be a live poll of Twitter, Facebook, and other social media to analyse in real time what people are talking about in terms of these guys. So we will be able to analyse volume, how many people are talking about particular election issues, but also sentiment. Are they talking about it positively, negatively? And of course, we're obsessed with polls at the moment. Every day we're doing a poll of polls. We're now getting involved with betting companies because we think that where people put their money, that's probably the best way to analyse how people are likely to vote. But social media, people are honest as well. In polls, they might not be. So great steer for us, and will be really interesting to monitor over the next few days. Very, very quickly to finish, added value is part of what I use Twitter for. It's boring just to talk about news all the time. This was a flood that happened in our newsroom, got masses of attention from our viewers. It's something that people don't normally expect to see. It actually completely devastated our set, and we've never returned to it. But a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes always goes down very well. I recently got married in September, and I tweeted some of the coverage that got. Humour. It's true. It's true. You've got to be nice to your cameraman because they can always stitch you up. And just to finish, lastly, it being Twitter and everything, it is all about, let me just check, this one's coming up. It is all about the selfie. It's an opportunity to post pictures of yourself with celebrities, whatever it may be. So Twitter, fantastic tool for us, absolutely integral to what we do. Please follow me at Sunrise Isabel, and if you get a chance, check us out. And certainly over the next 43 days, it is going to be really exciting. Thank you very much. You've been lovely. Thank you.